Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ezra Hansen here. So it's been a couple years now since I've been into the pocket knives, and there's a couple of brands that I really like now. This video is kind of the start of my collection updates. So over a year ago now I put up a video of my collection, and it was a 3 or 4 parter with the different, like, the sections of it. So I think I'm going to do that again, but this is just, I wanted to do one on the Rough Riders that I have, because well, they're quite a large part of my collection. I don't know if you can tell, but so I've got a few, and there's a few people that are interested in a few of the different, like, the models and that, because there's so many options, and people are asking me if there's any ones that I really like or that I don't like, things like that. So I'm just gonna sort of have a bit of a run through, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them, but yeah, basically I'm just going to show you all the Rough Riders I've got. Alright, so I'm going to turn you around and then we'll have a closer look at these knives. Alright, so the first lot that I'm going to talk about, set for those ones there, we'll move them out of the way for now. But all of these are a pattern. Well, the handle scales on them are what you call an amber jigged bone, and this is one of the reasons why I really like the Rough Rider knives, is because they're low cost enough that I'm able to collect lots of different like the patterns of knives, and also like the different the colours and all of that. Alright, so the first one up is a dogleg jack. So the main blade has a bat lock. If this is a wee bit wonky, it's because I normally have the camera around the other way. So I'm going to have a go at this, but when you're in the viewfinder you're sort of upside down and that sort of stuff. But I'm going to have a go at this. So I've used this quite a bit as an EDC. So it's, as you can see, it's not a massive knife, but it's not a small knife. So it's a handy wee size. You've got heaps of belly on your clip, and then you've got a almost like a stay blade, but it's not quite a traditional one either. And it came with a lanyard on it with a nice wee, like, a bead on it, which I thought was quite awesome. Right, so next one is I've got, they call this the classic lockback. This comes in 3 or 4 sizes. I think this is the smallest one. So I've EDC'd this a lot too. I think this was one of the first of the Rough Riders that I got. This is the medium Texas toothpick. Haven't carried this as much, but fits in the hand quite nice. So that's a cool wee knife. This one here I haven't had that long, but it's It's essentially a sod busted junior. I should say at the outset, all of these, the steel on it is the 440 razor sharps steel that they use. I think it's really awesome actually for the money. I've used these a lot for small game. I've used this to process a couple of rabbits for, yeah, if you don't know, I breed rabbits here on the farm, and we use we eat them, and yeah, so we're processing a lot of them. This knife here is awesome. It's almost the perfect rabbit knife. I think the size is really good. This also has a liner lock on it. Alright, the next one up. This, I believe they called the Hunter. This originally had a liner lock on it, but the first time I used it, I was using it for a bit of carving, and the lock actually bent out of shape and it locked up on me. So I removed it, and yeah, the walk and the torque on the slip joint is awesome, like, so I haven't ever missed a lock. So that's obviously a bigger knife. Haven't used this a lot because of a knife that I'm going to show you a wee bit later on. Right, next one up is a Congress. I've showed this a few times on the channel. This is a really nice little knife. I use this a lot as a going out knife, or if I'm at a city or something, I carry this a lot. Right, so I've got a Barlow knife here. Really handy little knives. This one here is what you call a peanut. This one, I believe, was called the Ram's Horn pen knife. So the finish on there, I believe it's, I think is actually, they've taken a piece of bone and then they make it look like ram's horn. Not quite sure why they called it a pen knife, because it doesn't have, like, neither of the blades are what you call a pen knife, so, but, you know. Right, so I've got a medium lockback trapper. This blade here is awesome, like for the rabbits and all that as well. Really good wee knife, and obviously it locks, so that's good. And then you've got the spay blade as well. But that one's only a slip joint. Alright, so here, if you can see it, I've got a canoe, really tiny. That's all I really have to say about that. Stockman. I just added these in the collection because they were the colour that I liked basically, and I thought they'd be interesting. And then I've got the Trapper as well. Alright, so that's the first lot. Alright, so I've got the next lot here. So I've got a few Trappers. Oh, I can't remember the name of the pattern on this, but I really like the pattern. It's just really nice. So I've used this quite a lot as a going out knife. And yeah, the walk and talk on these are just awesome, I think. This one here, the walk and talk's not quite as good. This here's the Fat Boy. The walk and talk on this one's really good. I've used this a lot for camping because the size of it, it's not quite, but it's almost the size of like some of the smaller, like the Mora knives. So you can use it a lot, like for food prep and things like that. I really like this knife. I think this was like the second or third one I ever bought, and yeah, I just really like this one. Now this one here is the one that replaced that Hunter. So this is the Granddaddy Barlow. This is the the Ram's Horn version of it. As you can see, it's quite a big knife. Really like this knife. As soon as I got this knife, I took it out and I used it for whittling and for making like the curls, like for starting your fire up, and that night I made a casserole with it and things like that, and I just really like this knife. It's a good size. This is the size of a Mora. So, and the walk and the talk on it's really good, and you got half stops on it, which is really awesome. And yeah, just really like this knife. The size of it, because you got a long handle, the handle's the same length as the blade essentially. Got heaps of control on it, so even really small cuts, you have a lot of control. So really awesome. I really like the Granddaddy Barlow. This one here's the Half Hawk. It's got heaps of food on it or something. It's not rust, it's like leftover food or something. So this is just pretty much a dirty work knife. Really awesome. The half stops on this is awesome as well, and you've got a pen blade. This is really good. It's really ergonomic in your hand. This is really nice. I believe they're designed to be used like this, like for cutting up hay bales or whatever. Yeah, really nice. So we're back on a couple of smaller ones. This is a peanut. No, this is a small toothpick. I've carried this a wee bit. It's really good for finer jobs. Have used it to skin a rabbit, which that was alright, but a wee bit small. This here's the cub. So this is quite good for opening up like your cardboard and all that stuff, because you got your choil there, and it's a lockback. This is, I believe that's called a peach seed bone. So that's pretty cool. This is a small Barlow. Carried this a lot. Also used this for rabbits. Yeah, it's not bad for the skinning. It's not very good for butchering, but it's quite good for skinning. particularly when we skin them, we're able to sell the skins if we look after the skins. So we try to be real careful. And yeah, this one's another peanut. So all of the smaller ones here, well, these two anyway, I've carried these quite a lot. Like if I'm heading to town, more likely if I'm going to one of the cities that are further away from me where people don't know me and things like that, I carry a really small knife. Alright, so that's the second lot. Alright, so this is the last lot. Alright, the first one, this is called the Camper. So you've got a pen blade, you have a can opener. So this is the first iteration of a can opener that was ever on a pocket knife. This was the original can opener. They moved away from it because if you ever get one of these and you try and use it, you find out that they're really crap. But so that's the reason I've got this, is because basically this is a real old school, like this is a knife that a Boy Scout would have carried when the Boy Scouts were, when they were first around in the very early 1900s. And there's heaps of tension on these tools. You've got a screwdriver cap lifter, which I can't get out, but you know what that looks like. You've got an awl as well. So this is really nice. The bail on it's really nice as well. I've carried this a bit. It is quite heavy. This is one that I would probably have in my backpack if I was going to take it camping. This is called a liner lock trapper. As you can see, you're able to one hand open it, which is quite nice on a traditional knife. You are able to flick it, but there's a bit, yeah, she's a bit loose, like in the pivot, but this has been a pretty good knife all up. Used it for a lot of rabbits, I've used it for possums. Yeah, so this is nice. The finish on this is a red jigged bone. Also another half fork here. So it's the same as the other one, except the colour is different. As you can see, I sort of like the colour options and stuff. Right, so I've not got another Barlow. Yeah, this is another Barlow. This, I believe, is called the Coal Miners. I don't know. Sure, it's something to do with coal miners because of the black, but it might not be. And I have another Barlow. This is the Gold Miners, sort of like commemorative, yeah, sort of a model. I've got a small trapper here. This has got half stops on it. This is really nice. I plan to carry this quite a lot. Over Christmas we're going up to Christchurch, which is a larger city if you're not from here. So I'm probably going to carry this because I don't think anyone's going to get threatened by it. People probably going to ask me where I got it and hopefully have a conversation about pocket knives, which is what I like. So this is really nice. The finish on it's really beautiful. Really nice wee knife. So this is a copperhead. This is probably my Rough Rider that's had the most amount of work. I got this thinking I'd just put it in the collection, and like this was before I sort of really got interested like in the Rough Riders. I had a few Rough Riders, but I just had them because they were traditional and I was able to afford them. But I worked out the other day, I've skun well over 100 rabbits with this. I've carved a lot of things with this. I've cut a lot of rope. Yeah, a real good knife. I haven't really had to give it a proper sharpening, I've just had to hone it. So the steel on these is really good for the money, eh? Like, really, really good. So I've got a canoe here. This is a green handle, obviously. So this is really nice. I got this, so I thought I was going to give this away to somebody, but I got it and I really liked it, so I gave them another one instead. The one I bought for me, which I thought I'd like, I didn't like, so I gave it to this other person. I don't know if that makes me a cheapskate, but it's the truth. So this is really nice. This is another nice one to carry when I'm out around people. I find if you carry a nice looking knife, people don't seem to care that you've got a knife. Yeah. Alright, so I've got, this is another canoe. So this is a saw cut bone, I believe it's called. The bolsters on it are really nice. This was a gift from my mum. A few of these have been a gift. This one here was a gift from my sister for my birthday. This is the buckshot bone trapper. The finish on this, on the series in itself, is just really nice. You got half stops, walk and talk's brilliant. You've got a red liner on there. Just really nice knives for the money, eh? Like, I can't get over it. Like, somebody said on the Pocket Knife group the other night, it wasn't about Rough Riders, but it was about low cost knives. They said, why don't you save your money and get something that's going to make you happy every time you know it's in your pocket? These make me happy every time I know they're in my pocket because they're great work knives, they look awesome, and they cost me hardly anything. I just love these. Like depending on the knife, I'm quite happy to put these up against like some of my case knives that I've got, things like that. I think the quality's right up there, eh? I think they're awesome. So I've got another buckshot one. This is a teardrop. Yeah, this is a real nice. This is real good for food. The blade on here is real good if you're putting, yeah, like your butter or like on your toast or something. And again, just the finish is just really awesome. Now this is pretty much my pride of my Rough Rider collection. My mate Wes, he sent me this for Christmas. He's actually the guy that owns the shop that I was able to purchase all these from. Link will be in the description. But this is the Christmas Trapper. Isn't it lovely? So the pattern's actually the same like as the buckshot bone one. So you've got the half stops, you have the Rough Rider R up on the bolsters, which is really nice, and something else that you get on this and the buckshots is you've got the match striker there, which which obviously isn't applicable anymore because through PC safety conscious things, we're not allowed to use this strike anywhere matches because people were getting like poisoned by them and stuff like that. But yep, so that's the Christmas one. So that's my Rough Rider collection. Alright guys, so that's my Rough Rider collection. I'm a talking head at the moment, but I can't adjust this tripod that I'm using. I can adjust it, but it's not going to change anything. So, it doesn't make sense. But, that's my Rough Rider collection. I hope you enjoyed it. It's probably another half-hour video. I asked in the last one if people wanted the short videos that I was doing, the short, like, precise one. A few people, there was a lot of likes on that video and quite a few people commented and they were like, no, I like this. So I'm going to carry on with this and we'll see how we go. Hopefully you find them interesting. If not, let me know and we'll see what we can do. If you want to hear the story of that guy there, let me know. There's probably crap hanging all over him, but that's a somewhat interesting story. It'll provoke a lot of conversation anyway. So let me know if you want to hear that story. Alright, we'll see you next time. Oh, Merry Christmas if I don't get another one out by Christmas. Hopefully I will, because there's a package coming in the mail that I want to open. Hopefully before Christmas. Like and subscribe. Yeah. See ya.